Hello everybody, and welcome back to my channel. A couple days ago, a little problem developed in my Paradise. This particular machine, which is set to play half-inch tapes, has suddenly developed a problem. I have a bunch of studio master tapes like this one, and I was playing them. Everything was just fine, and I played 2 tapes without any problems. But when I started playing the third one, I felt the machine was not moving at the right speed, and sure enough, it's been downhill since then. It started having very strange problems. It would play, it would not play, it would rewind, then not rewind. So it was very upsetting, obviously, because I love this machine. This was actually the first ATR-102 I bought. And I have a very nice attachment, sentimental maybe, to this machine. This machine has multiple head blocks. As you can see, there are different splicing blocks available on the head stack. And at this point, it is set to play half-inch tapes. On top of that, it's connected to its own tape head preamp. As you can see it now, it is switched into 30 IPS position. And it's got front panel adjustments, which is very convenient. And we'll talk about it a little bit later in a few minutes. But other than that, the machine is stock. As you can see, it comes with an optional single surge panel, which works okay on Ampexes. I love this feature, and I had it on 4 different machines, but I never had it work to my satisfaction. You know, on some machines, I'm not gonna name those machines, but on some of those recorders, if you want 0, it will rewind exactly to 0 and start playing that way. On Ampex, it would always, in my experience, miss the mark by few counts. And the error would be wider if you had to rewind great distance. So, on one hand, I love this panel. All my machines have it, but I rarely use it because it's of marginal quality, I hate to say. In addition, this model, as some other models in my collection, has the monitor, which is very convenient. In many cases, I use this monitor speaker, and it gives me very good capability to cue the tape or whatnot. So the head block has been reworked. It has a half-inch standard head, but it is routed to channels 3 and 4 on this mainframe. So in this case, you have direct connection without affecting channels 1 and 2 when you swap the head block. And if you find it a little bit confusing, I understand. I was confused at first myself. But it works like a charm. And with simple daughter boards plugged into the electronic bay, you have ability to connect external preamp. And when I switch to standard block, it works just like it should with the standard block. So it's not one of those modifications that butcher the machine. You can remove it in seconds. I can go back to standard connection on the playback head, no problem at all. So it's a good machine for this purpose. And like I said, at this point it was set to play 30 IPS tapes, half-inch tapes. So when it started misbehaving, I was obviously very, very upset. And I started doing some troubleshooting, including swapping all those drive control boards. Since I have multiple machines, it was very easy for me to get another set, but plugged it in did not change the behavior. It was still very, very confusing and just not right. So I left it yesterday, a little bit upset, but looking for another day, if you know what I mean. So this morning I turned on the machine and sure enough it started working just fine. So I thought I would use this chance to play it and let you hear some of that recorded music that come from a studio in California, and it is a true studio master with 3 cuts of the same song, as was very, very common for the studio masters. Once again, this is a tape. As you can see below, it is a master stereo, no noise reduction, 2-track, which is good. I don't know anything about that name on top, but be it as it may, it is a piece of music. So you can listen to it. Even if that's not your case, you can still enjoy it sometimes. Inside the box, I found this particular note. And obviously that is left by a recording engineer and dated, as you can see, May 7th of 1990. So this tape is a real thing. It's not some underground copy or some bootlegged copy. It is a real studio master. I actually looked up the history of that Studio 56. They closed down years ago, but during their active period they recorded quite a few very nice artists. You can do the same. You can go on Google and find the history of that particular studio. At some point they sold nice inventory of those tapes, and I got about a dozen of them. When you buy tapes like that, you basically buy the sound. The chances of finding music you're gonna like are not so great, because they probably recorded some little known local artists. But again, this is okay, because in some cases you just want to hear what this particular medium can give you. And in this case, half-inch 30 IPS is pretty much the ultimate for most of us. As you can see, different takes are separated by white leader, as it was normally done on studio tapes. And unfortunately, 3 takes of the same song is not exactly my dream of entertainment. So I'm thinking about perhaps at some point splicing the pieces I like on one tape. Maybe I'll do it. In this case, you can put the tape on and just enjoy it without having to rewind all the time. But going back to the machine, when it was misbehaving, I also felt some very faint smell of something hot from this general area. Mind you, it wasn't smoking, it wasn't smell of something burning. It was a sense of things getting maybe a little bit too hot. You know, when components sit there for years and years and decades, they tend to accumulate dust and some particles on top. And when you subject them to higher than their usual temperature, they start outgassing, and you can tell it right away. When you have experience with electronics, you can tell it. It's not a burning smell again. It is a smell of components running hotter than they would normally do. So yesterday I got on the phone with Dan Labrie, and we spent some time, a little bit of time, just trying to troubleshoot this problem, and it kept puzzling us. That's why I just turned it off yesterday. But this morning, so far it seems to be running fine. So I don't know, maybe it was just a particularly tough job playing several of those heavy and wide tapes in a row. Maybe that's more work than this machine was used to do. And it kind of complained. I hope this is just it. Because, like I said, swapping boards did not produce any improvement, but time certainly took and made a trick. Before playing the tape today, I calibrated it using my 30 inches per second half-inch calibration tape. As I mentioned before, calibration is very easy because I have front panel controls on my head preamp. So just watching the scope and the meter, and you adjust the dial. It's very, very simple procedure. And by the way, the azimuth was okay already. I didn't have to adjust it much at all. So at this point, the machine is ready. The preamp is all tuned up, and the mechanism seems to be behaving. As you're going to be watching this tape playing, you will notice that the meters on the tape recorder are not moving. And like I said, this is because the tape head is routed directly to the output, to the external head preamp, which is, by the way, as normally in my case, an old tube, 10 tube, fully differential design. It's one of the earlier models, but still it's very, very good in terms of its sound. I think one tube on one channel is getting noisy, but I don't think it is going to be bothering you during this track. I just have to look a little bit later and probably replace it. That's pretty much normal routine with tubes. They go noisy sometimes, so you always should have a stash of selected tubes on your hands, which I do. And now, let's just sit back and enjoy this piece of music. It may not be to my taste, but it's still a music. I like certain attributes of it. So let's hear it.
Since that night I met you at the dance, girl, I haven't seen you at all. Now what I want to know, girl, I hope you do like me as much as I like you. 'Cause I just wanna be your main game, don't wanna be your plaything. I wanna be the one you hold tight, the one you make love to at night. all night. I wanna know if you try me. Oh girl, if you do, please let me know. I just wanna be your main. Don't wanna be a plaything. When you're ready for a real love life, I'll be that one you make love to at night. I just wanna be your baby. I wanna be your baby. I just wanna be your baby. I wanna be your baby. I wanna know if you try me. Oh yeah. I wanna know, girl, if you really care. Yeah, baby. I just want to be your main man. I don't wanna be a plaything. All I wanna be is that one you make love to at night. I just wanna be your man, yeah. Don't wanna be a plaything, girl. I wanna be the one you hold tight. Ooh, that one you make love to at night. I just wanna be your main. Don't wanna be a plaything. I wanna be the one you hold tight. Ooh, that one you make love to at night. I just wanna be your, ooh, I wanna be your girl. I got to be your main game. I just wanna be your man.
So I think it was overall very nice. The sound is punchy, dynamic. It's very live, if you will. So definitely now and then listening to this type of tape would be a very, very nice experience to have, even if it's not exactly the music you like. Now about the problem. I have some suspicion. I think what happened, you see the bunch of those output transistors, and I believe those 4 here belong to the capstan power drive. And if I'm right, but I need to do more troubleshooting and investigation, they may be overheating just a little bit from this particular heavy work. Looks like it's running fine with the panel removed, which would be another indication that it might be overheating. But it's too early to say. All I can tell you that the problem was there yesterday, it seems to be gone today, which makes me happy. And I'm happy it's not one of those control boards, which are replaceable, but they're quite expensive. I think the capstan control board costs something like $900 on eBay, and that would be a fairly substantial penalty. So anyway, that's all for today. Let me know if you have any questions, and I hope this machine continues working fine. I don't think I will be abusing it much, playing multiple heavy tapes in a row. I never seen it behave strangely on normal 1/4-inch tapes, and I've used this machine quite a bit before. It used to be my prime machine for a while, because like I said, it was the first ATR I bought for my collection. So thank you very much for stopping by again, and hope to see you next time. Goodbye.